You're watching the News Hour at 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the News Hour tonight, I will show you satellite imagery. Satellite imagery that actually exposes China's doublespeak. This is what Ladakh looks like, and this is the layout of Ladakh, and this has been replicated in a model which is the Pakistan Liberation Army war model, which it has constructed, just a photocopy of what Ladakh is looking like. India is building bridges and roads to protect its own territory, but China is right now trying to threaten India to back off and not construct anything. And India has said it will not back off and it will not listen to the designs that are being laid out by the Chinese. India is prepared for a long haul, and India has also sent in some troops to acclimatize just in case the long haul requires it to. Even at a time when India is not backing off, let's show you the design that has been made by China, and let's take a look at how closely they are replicating their war strategy and any eventualities, what they are preparing for. And these are the 5 telltale signs. The PLA camps right here. There are heavy trucks, helipads, power plant units and security units all along this area. And this is the mock preparation model that China is readying on the other side of the Ladakh border. And this is China's nefarious plan. And ladies and gentlemen, on a day this was being planned by China, and India is engaged in a confrontation where it has decided not to back off, not to be thwarted by the Chinese desire not to let India build its infrastructure, and India has decided to actually step up the heat and pressure on China. China's all-weather friend Pakistan today tried once again with a car laden with explosives, 45 kilograms of RDX. And this is how our braves actually destroyed that entire car laden with explosives. 45 kgs of RDX, and just see how it was targeted by the Indian forces and blasted in a safe zone. And it was a Pulwama rerun that was on the mind of Pakistan. And we even have intelligence coming in that along with China on the other side of the border, Pakistan increasing its deployment of troops in the Gilgit-Baltistan area. At a time like this, you know what politicians and the first political family of Jammu and Kashmir had on its mind? Well, this is the tweet that was put out by Shafia Abdullah Khan, daughter of Farooq Abdullah, and she says, let's wait for the Chinese. Perhaps they'll restore 4G. Inviting China, laying out the red carpet for China to come and provide 4G services, something that has even been turned down by the Supreme Court. And that seems like a joke to this family that has had 2 chief ministers coming from here, between Farooq and Omar Abdullah, not to talk about Farooq Abdullah's father. And Shafia Abdullah Khan, for her, 4G services more important than our braves and than the sovereignty of India. So, legitimate question tonight on the News Hour is simply this. Is Islamabad and Beijing above India for this lobby? That's the question. And the hashtag, lobby invites China. That's the big debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining me on the debate tonight, Sushant Sareen, strategic affairs expert, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, Sushil Pandit, activist. Also joining me from Jammu and Kashmir is Majid Haidari, political analyst, Ashutosh, political analyst, and Nishant Verma. And my first question to you, Nishant Verma. Do you find anything funny about inviting China to set up 4G services in Jammu and Kashmir?
Thank you. Navika ji, I find this too sarcastic a tweet, and I'll tell you why. Because there are ways of reading it. What I read is, let's wait for China to come and install or instate 4G. Primarily, she is hinting at the failure of Narendra Modi government, and I'll tell you why. Forget everything else. Start recollecting April 2018, the Wuhan meeting of President Xi along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and strict instructions were passed on, Navika ji, to both the militaries, by Chinese Premier to China and by Indian Prime Minister to Indian Army, to make sure that the mutual understandings are strengthened, the bond is better, and things are not untoward, because this happened after Doklam. Now, I fail to understand that for nearly 2 years, have we actually moved in terms of the directions given by the Honorable Prime Minister of India and the President of China, or are we waiting for China to come into the valley, which has happened in sorts?
We are not discussing Indo-China relationship.
This is one
we
of,
are discussing
no, please, this is
the mentality of the first family of Kashmir.
Sir, kindly allow me. I did not. I would like to.
No, such a long-winded explanation, Nishant Verma ji, to a simple question. Will you as an Indian joke about China coming in to set up 4G services in a state when in the same state our braves are standing on the border trying to protect the integrity of our own borders? I want to ask you, is it the matter of joke? Is national security a matter of joke?
Okay.
Is the life of our braves a matter of a joke? Should it be tweeted in such a light manner? And what about the sovereignty of India? When you simply, at a time the confrontation is going on with China, you actually joke about it and tweet out and say, "Arey, China aa jao, 4G services to de do." Which means India is not important, our braves, our forces are not important. What is important is 4G services so that you can watch Netflix.
Navika,
very good question. Very good question, and I seriously, let me complete. This is wonderful question, Navika ji, and because you have raised this question whether India is more important, its sovereignty is more important, I recollect the day when a gentleman standing in Japan said, ऐसे करके घर में पैसे नहीं है, शादी है, माँ बीमार है, 1000 का नोट यूज नहीं हो सकता. When there are people like Narendra Modi who can insult India itself.
Why are you obfuscating issues? Why are you obfuscating issues? Is there any correlation between what you are saying and the question I am asking Dr. Anand Ranganathan? Mr. Nishant Verma and this lobby will do anything in their power to obfuscate the issue, which is so direct. I want to ask you, China, wait for China to come and set up 4G services and a smiley there and an emoji that shows you that national sovereignty is a joke and the lives of our braves is a joke for the first family in Jammu and Kashmir. Is it not? Dr. Ranganathan.
Oh, sorry, it was to me. Yeah, good evening, Navika. Thanks very much for having me. You know, Kashmir has been turned into a snakes and ladder game. The ladders are provided by Pakistan and the snakes by Indians. I say Indians, but I wonder if these people think of themselves as Indians. Their first allegiance is to religion, second to Pakistan, third to China, and probably fourth to dynasty. It is a fact that Hyderabad could so easily have been what Kashmir is today. And fools in the media would be writing column yards on its struggle, but for one man, Sardar Patel. And Kashmir, this is also a fact, could so easily have been what Hyderabad is today, but for two men. Nehru and Sheikh Abdullah. They set the board down for the snakes and the ladder game, which their progenies have been playing ever since.
Patel was ready to trade Hyderabad
Kashmir's bubbling and ever-present communal bigotry
and read papers.
You know,
you don't even
why
know
don't
that,
you
sir.
wait for your
Sorry
turn,
about it.
Nishant Verma? Why don't you wait for your turn? You know, courtesy
This guy was
also
saying, "Don't
right
interrupt
now
me."
is in
Nobody
fashion in
interrupted
India.
him.
Even if you
This
don't
is
think so,
ridiculous, you know.
allow Dr. Anand Ranganathan to complete his point, and I'll come back to you.
This is
You had your say.
unacceptable.
Allow Dr. Ranganathan.
This guy doesn't know law, doesn't know history. I don't know what he knows. But please be quiet, whatever you do know. Don't interrupt. Have some manners. So as I was saying, Nehru and Sheikh Abdullah, they set the boat down for the snakes and ladder game. Navika, I can't go on like this. You know, I would have to, please, can you just fade him out like his career?
Nishant Verma, don't make me do this. Don't make me do this in the first 5 minutes of the debate.
Sorry?
Calm down, calm down. You will have ample opportunity to speak, but allow a panelist to finish his point. And Nizam Bhai, in case Nishant Verma interrupts Dr. Ranganathan again, please lower his fader. I have no other choice. Dr. Ranganathan.
Thank you very much. So as I was saying, these are the guys who talk of human and religious rights. But when have you heard them speak out on the atrocities committed by Pakistan against Ahmadiyas and Baluchs? Leave aside the Hindus and Christian minorities. When have you heard them speak out against China that has interned more than 1 million Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps and is feeding them pork? When have you heard them speak out against the brutal trampling of human rights of lakhs of Dalits, Gurkhas, women, Sikhs, refugees, homosexuals in Kashmir because of 370 and 35A? But I'll tell you when they do speak out. When their power and authority are threatened, like when Sheikh Abdullah spoke out in 1958, and I quote, "Self-determination is our right. Countries that do not support it are our enemies." Or when Farooq Abdullah spoke out, and I quote, "They want to abolish 370 and we'll remain silent. Inshallah, we will fight. We dare them. Allah would want that we gain independence from India." Well, the only independence that was gained was by India from rotten apples like them. Talking of apples, an apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That is perhaps their family motto.
Well, Ashutosh, you seem to find something very funny. You think Shafia Abdullah Khan's tweet is funny? You think Pulwama braves, who have averted another attack on India, just like Pulwama, where our braves would have been martyred. We don't know how many civilians would have lost their lives, and you find this tweet in the middle of all this very funny?
Navika, I think Anand Ranganathan has a great career in politics. Unfortunately, I do not know what he's doing in JNU, a den of so-called terrorists and anti-nationals. I think he should come out openly and do politics. No, you learn from me at least. You learn from. See, on a
the only sensible thing you ever did was to quit up.
I would have taken this tweet very seriously if it has come from the Farooq Abdullah or Umar Abdullah, who has stakes in Indian politics, who has stakes in Kashmir politics. Somebody who belongs to the family and writing something like this, let's not take it very seriously. Point number one. The point number two. If somebody is talking about the 4G in and all that, let's not forget that it is India who was negotiating with the China for the 5G through Huawei, and it is Americans who put pressure on us and threatened us not to do that. I do not know whether the government of India has surrendered. Point number three, if we are taking so seriously, then let's declare something that we will not have any relationship with the China in future. Because it is our Prime Minister who had taken him to the Ahmedabad and done all kinds of jhula, all kinds of things. Let's be very serious. It's a diplomatic matter. Diplomacy has to be taken seriously. Chinese has itself said that we are not escalating the tensions. But let's also be serious. Let's not take Chinese very seriously. In 1959-60, we took Chinese very seriously, and look where we were. We lost in 1962. China, this time the tension and the seriousness is much graver than what people are thinking.
So you're saying Shafia Abdullah Khan does not understand the seriousness of China and its confrontation with India right now, and since she is not herself a politician, so she should be just let off as some joke that she cracked. Is that something that you would buy, Sushil Pandit? Would you buy that position? Shafia Abdullah Khan, doesn't she know what politics is? In fact, forget politics. Doesn't she know what sovereignty of India means to an Indian?
Precisely, Navika. Two of your panelists have been waxing eloquent about China. This issue is not about China. This is about Abdullahs. Abdullahs are hunting for all kinds of sticks to beat India with. Sometimes it is Pakistan, sometimes it is China, sometimes it is the stone pelters when Farooq Abdullah from Hazrat Bal appealed to them to keep fighting in the way of Allah and told his own partymen that we are not enemies of Hurriyat and that Hurriyat and us should work together. These are his words, and he thought because he was speaking in Kashmiri, the rest of India wouldn't understand. In Kashmiri, there is a proverb, it says, Kokar tachan poot hechan, which means as the parents do, the children learn. She's learnt it in the household, in the conversations, in their responses, in their politics. And that is how it gets reflected in the tweet. This shows the mindset. And point is, we, as Anand Ranganathan rightly said, we provide these snakes. We raise them in our backyard. We give them privileges. And we sent our retired chief of RAW to him few weeks back, and he negotiated his release from PSA. We are the ones who are sustaining them in politics. We are the ones who are investing them in restarting the democratic process in Kashmir. We are the ones who are vesting them with all the value. We are the ones who are rearing these snakes.
Ashutosh,
So a lot has to be done
raising
in
his
terms
hand.
of soul searching, asking ourselves, what are we doing with
I
them?
want to just ask you, value systems in our country have often come, as Sushil Pandit says, from our parents, from our grandparents, from the culture and the background that we come from. And for a family where 3 generations have been in politics, you want me to believe that this was an offhand tweet and it should be just treated as an aside, as if ye to roz hota hai?
Navika, uninterrupted 30 seconds I want from you. I think today I am a bit aghast to listen what Anand Ranganathan, the argument put by Anand Ranganathan has been extended by Sushil Pandit, and I'm really little apprehensive that whom Sushil Pandit is hinting at, who has negotiated with Farooq Abdullah to get him released. It is the government of India led by Mr. Prime Minister. Is Sushil Pandit hinting at calling him or his government snacks? What is he talking about? I think he has lost his mind completely. He should explain that. What did he mean by saying that? And what Anand Ranganathan meant by calling the snakes?
I am stating a fact with you.
Who negotiated? Who negotiated?
I am stating a fact which is there in public domain.
Who negotiated? No. Who negotiated? Government of India negotiated. Are you calling Government of India snacks?
I am stating a fact that is in public domain.
Are you, Mr. Sushil Pandit?
Abdullah went and met Farooq Abdullah. In a matter of few weeks, Farooq Abdullah was released despite an extension of 6 months of public safety act.
Mr. Ashutosh, and let me get in Dr. Anand Ranganathan as well.
It is a matter
Ashutosh is seeing a conspiracy theory in what you stated, Dr. Anand Ranganathan. I want to tell you, the government took a position in the Supreme Court on not allowing Farooq Abdullah to come out. What is this insidious affair that Ashutosh is pointing towards?
The problem, Navika, with Ashutosh is that he knows even less than Jon Snow. And as you know, Jon Snow knows nothing. You know, it is embarrassing for a scientist to teach him history, but I would have to do that. Maybe not, because there is a panelist out there, one of the most erudite speakers and knowledgeable in history, domain of history, Mr. Sushil Pandit. And he's a Kashmiri as well. He should know, right from 1930s onwards, how first Sheikh Abdullah, then Farooq Abdullah, and then his progenies have been dictating and drawing this line that India is not, for Kashmir, Kashmir is not for India. Right from the Kashmir conspiracy case, I don't know Ashutosh has even heard of this. When Sheikh Abdullah was arrested in 1953, when he came out on Jan 20th, 1958 and gave that infamous Hazrat Bal speech where, where from I quoted, that he says, people, we want self-determination and those who are not with us are our enemies, hinting at India. And he also said, those on the east and on the west who are with us are our friends, hinting at China and Pakistan. And then comes, Farooq Abdullah, then comes his progenies. So either you contradict what Mr. Sushil Pandit is saying, or you please go home, have a little bit of whiskey, and open a history book and educate yourself, Ashutosh.
Well,
Because we
let me get in Majid Hydari. Let me
answer what Anand Ranganathan has said. I think Anand Ranganathan has completely lost. See, he forgot that Jon Snow was a fast bowler. England is the fastest bowler till 2020. I think he should be reminded about the Jon Snow. Jon Snow, I think
Game of Thrones ka Jon Snow.
No. If you
Not
are
the fast bowler Jon Snow, my dear Ashutosh. Game of Thrones.
No,
Game of Thrones ka Jon Snow.
If you get illogical, I can also have a right and privilege to be illogical. So let's not get into Jon Snow.
Sushant Sareen is going to use his epithet right now.
Jan Botham,
Please don't do it.
Number of cricketers. So let's not make it frivolous. What I'm saying is that Sushil Pandit has clearly hinted at.
It's not cricketer Jon Snow. It is Game of Thrones Jon Snow.
Because Mr. Dulat could not have gone to for. Mr. Dulat cannot go on his own. Dulat must have been appointed, must have been given certain rights.
So where is the harm? So where is the harm, Ashutosh? Even if the government sent Mr. Dulat, if the government tries to create a conversation, you have a problem with that. If the government takes a step of abrogation of Article 370, you have a problem of that. But the biggest problem right now, Sushant Sareen, seems to be the absence of 4G services in Jammu and Kashmir for the Abdullah family. Can you actually believe it that between the attack from Pakistan that's coming in, obviously coordinated with China, and China standing on this side, looking down upon India, staring at India and threatening India, the Abdullah family is worried about 4G services. You find that funny?
No, Navika, I'll tell you what I find funny. But look, there are two issues out here. One is that internet is a part of our lives, and I can understand inconvenience because of the situation. And a lot of us have also weighed in on the matter that we need to try and balance, to the extent this is possible, the provision of those services with the requirements of security. I would obviously put security much higher, but to the extent that we can relax this, it should be done. But let's come back to this lady. Why I find it extremely funny, and I agree with what Sushil Pandit is saying, that it betrays a mindset. But, for somebody to be so unlettered and to be indulging in this kind of sarcasm, which will come back to bite her. So let's talk about the Chinese, and what she's alluding to is that the Chinese will come in, occupy Kashmir. But if the Chinese occupy Kashmir, number one, they're not going to give it independence. So she can forget about that. Number two, the Chinese will certainly give them 4G. But this lady will not be able to use Twitter because the Chinese don't allow anybody to use Twitter. Number three, given the kind of mindset which many of these people portray and embody, the Chinese would come in, occupy it, and while giving them 4G, would put them in a concentration camp, would send them into a re-education kind of a thing, would feed them, as Anand very rightly said, feed them pork and feed them all sorts of other things. Would settle the Han Chinese in Kashmir, would completely change the demographic character and the cultural characteristics of Kashmir. So if this lady wants that kind of a thing, and that is what she is wishing for, then good luck to her. But her ignorance is as astounding as Ashutosh's ignorance when he thinks that Jon Snow, which Anand was talking about, is the cricketer and not the character from Game of Thrones. Either Ashutosh should watch Game of Thrones or not, make a complete fool of himself by, adding things and subtracting things. I think it would be advisable for him to not make a complete fool of himself. I think he should take it easy. Number two, I think he should not advise other people to go into politics, because having stepped into politics himself, he's made quite an ass of himself. So I think it would be best that he doesn't do it. Does not give gratuitous advice to other people, because it does not help anybody's case, really. He should bother about himself and his political career, which is non-existent right now.
No. While Ashutosh, you're finding everything extremely funny. I, for one, am missing the joke in this. I, for one, am missing the humor in this. Because when a daughter of a political family, and it is the first political family of Jammu and Kashmir, make no mistakes, comes out and ridicules India and talks about Chinese occupation at a time when our braves are going out there to try and save India and Jammu and Kashmir from the designs of terrorists of Hizbul Mujahideen and Jaish-e-Mohammed, when it actually takes into control a car laden with 45 kilograms of RDX, and you know what that could have done in Jammu and Kashmir. You know, suddenly I find all of you extremely amused about this entire situation, and we are talking about Netflix serials at the end of the day. I don't know how you can do it over the bodies of our martyrs over the last several days, and how you can do it over the current situation that India is facing with China. And I don't know how you can do it when Pakistan has made its designs absolutely evident through that 45 kilograms of RDX. So Majid Haidari, I want to ask you, आप पाकिस्तान के अपने हैं, चाइना के अपने हैं, और हिंदुस्तान आपके लिए लास्ट में आता है? क्या आप चाहते हैं कि जो उइगर मुस्लिम्स के साथ चाइना ने किया वो आपके लिए अब सच्चाई बन जाए जम्मू और कश्मीर में? और क्या इसलिए आप शकीरा अब्दुल्ला खान के ट्वीट को सपोर्ट करते हैं? क्या ये है?
Navika Sahiba, India has landed in Chinese soup, and Safia Abdullah Sahiba's tweet has added a desi tadka to that soup. Now it is for the RSS to decide whether we Indian citizens have to relish this soup or we need to be salvaged out of this soup. Because Chinese army venturing into Indian territory and camping in Indian territory is not a standoff, it's a military invasion. So BJP needs to come out its Kumbhakarn slumber and decide about the fate of what needs to be done for the people of the country.
Which it is doing.
And with regard to RSS,
which it is doing with no help from you, while you are sitting here and ridiculing all attempts that are being made. That's exactly what the forces are doing, directed by the government.
Navika Sahiba, Mohan Bhagwat ji had said that RSS Sangh Pracharaks can do something which army cannot do in 3 months, they can do in 3 days. Why are those RSS, Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh people being sent to Ladakh for a fight with the Chinese army?
On whether you would rather be governed by China and treated like the Uyghurs, or would you like to be governed by India and get the unlimited checks that you get, signed checks with an amount that you can fill in every single year? What do you actually want? The problem with you is that you want the check from Indian government, but you want to do a footsie with both China and Pakistan. Isn't that true, Sushant Sari?
Like Congress.
No.
BJP should behave like Congress, behave like Indira Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru.
Because then that would mean that we are facing another 1962 war. I don't want another 1962 kind of a war on my debacle on my hands.
Support Congress this time. Show some appreciation for Jawaharlal Nehru ji, show some appreciation for Indira Gandhi, Sushant bhai, show some true nationalist sentiment today.
When Indira Gandhi was doing a good job, for example, in 1971, everybody appreciates it.
No.
No, but what do we need to speak the truth?
This is our common country. We have a common enemy, China. You can't side with BJP for the sake of
Nehru and his kitchen cabinet.
Okay, if you have a common enemy in China, will you actually today condemn the tweet that has been put out by Safia Abdullah Khan? I want to ask you.
No.
You will not condemn it.
No, there is no reason to condemn the tweet. I condemn RSS. Why are those
Sushil Pandit, he calls China an enemy, but won't condemn the tweet, and that shows the double-faced nature of this kind of alienated.
Absolutely.
They call themselves alienated Janta in Kashmir. Sushil Pandit.
You know, in one breath, he will say Bharat Mata ki Jai, and then he will start justifying people going from here to wage jihad for ISIS.
I will say Bharat Mata
this
ki Jai.
man
I'll say
speaks with a forked tongue.
Bharat Mata ki Jai. No,
this man speaks with a forked tongue. He has a track record for this.
Zindabad, but never Bharat Mata ki Jai. Never expect that from me.
Are worth not talking about.
भारत माता की जय बोलने में भी प्रॉब्लम है, सुशील पंडित. भारत माता की जय बोलने में भी प्रॉब्लम है.
बिकॉज वो मेरे धर्म के खिलाफ है.
हाँ, इनको हर चीज में प्रॉब्लम है. इनको सिर्फ मुफ्त की चीजें खाने में मजा आता है. इनको
सर,
सब
जो
कुछ मुफ्त
चीज
में
मेरे
चाहिए,
धर्म के खिलाफ जाएगी, मुझे उससे प्रॉब्लम हमेशा रहेगी।
और 4G और 5G के साथ करेंगे। इनको हमेशा ये चाहिए, 5G चाहिए, 4G चाहिए, लेकिन साथ में स्टोन पेल्टर्स नहीं चाहिए या चाहिए, ये नहीं बताएंगे।
हिंदुस्तान
इनको मस्जिदों से मोबिलाइजेशन चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए, ये नहीं बताएंगे। ये व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स के ऊपर स्टोन पेल्टर्स का मोबिलाइजेशन चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए, नहीं बताएंगे। लेकिन इनको 4G चाहिए, इनको देखना है, इनको व्हाट्सएप के ऊपर वीडियोस देखने हैं, इनका ह्यूमन राइट्स वही है।
Well, Nishant Verma, Majid Hydari will not condemn Safia Abdullah Khan's tweet. I want to ask you, and I have nothing personally against Safia Abdullah Khan. She's a free individual, but she represents a family that is the first family of Jammu and Kashmir, and the coincidence is not lost on me, and neither is it lost on the country. And the reason I'm picking up her tweet is only because this is the group that says freedom of speech is important. I want to ask you, freedom of speech entails giving up the sovereignty of your country and declaring that your country has acceded territory to a foreign country like China at a time when a confrontation is on?
4 very quick points. Number 1, I reiterate, it was sarcasm and nothing else. So we are trying to read too much out of it. Number 2, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, Sardar Patel was giving up on Hyderabad against Kashmir. He said, I can trade that. Number 4, Sushil Pandit ji, you called opposition leaders snakes. अगर यही होता तो 2002 के बाद snake का सर कुचल दिया होता. Number 4, I was ashamed. I was ashamed to have. Please, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt.
He doesn't know the chronology. सरदार पटेल ने कब कहा था? जब जूनागढ़ में प्लेबिसाइट हुआ था. Do you understand what history is?
तो हम मान लेंगे.
Spelling आते हैं आपको?
डॉक्टर आनंद रंगनाथन,
नाविका, please muzzle this pity.
सही इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं होती है.
Please muzzle this pity.
ये मैं आपको बता दूं. और मैं बता दूं.
He has no idea of what Patel said.
हो गया ना.
Do I need to tell him that Patel was not even consulted on Article 370?
ठीक है.
And what he said.
पर्सनल नहीं होना चाहिए.
Now stop using such disgusting language. I know. It comes naturally to you.
When you make your point, Nishant Verma, let me get in Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
And number 4, ये पैनल पे कौन था जो वॉर से डर रहा था? ये बता दीजिए. मैं तो देख नहीं पा रहा हूँ टीवी.
All right. Dr. Anand Ranganathan is rebutting you. Dr. Anand Ranganathan is rebutting you. Calm down, Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
No, I don't want to rebut. I don't want to rebut Nishant Verma because, as you know, Navika, what they say, don't wrestle with pigs. You will get dirty and the pig will enjoy. It's a metaphor. But I want to come to what my good friend...
simply talk off down of the hat.
All right. Nishant Verma, I'm running out of time. I'll have to lower your fader.
If he's in a car, can you please call the driver and tell the car to move off?
Yes, go on.
As I was saying, my good friend Majid Hydari, he knows it has almost become a ritual now, Mr. Majid Hydari. Whenever I see you on the panel, I have to repeat the quote that you made on 7th October 2017. And it all fits so very well. What you said, and I quote, Muslims in India need not abide by the Supreme Court ruling because Sharia is higher than the Supreme Court. This is what you believe.
You are misquoting me. I
don't know if Ms. Abdullah also believes this. It is for you to say.
We are binding on the Muslims if it goes against the fundamentals of Islam. I stand by what I said. I'll repeat what I said. That any Supreme Court verdict which goes against the fundamentals of Islam will not be acceptable to Indian. You hang me for this.
The scant respect for the Supreme Court is something that this lobby has displayed on several occasions. And ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to 4G services, even this matter was argued in the Supreme Court. And in the Supreme Court, the verdict was very clear. National security is above all other freedoms of all citizens of this country. And when the government decided that it could not restore 4G services, the Supreme Court supported the move and left it to the government. But at the same time, will some people use 4G services by China as a ruse to make a joke about India's sovereignty, about the sacrifice of our braves? Is that the India we want to talk about? And are these political families going to be in a position to decide the future of India? It's a call people of this country will have to make. Thank you very much to my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.